I've been coming to the camp here since 2007.
5 years. 5 years. This is my 3rd year.
I think it's year 9.
I don't know how long I've been coming here. It's been that long.
Coming here has really made me the person that I am today.
I don't really know. It's just like, I just feel like so comfortable coming here.
Making memories with my friends is what I look forward to all year, and I just can't wait to get back on the island and meet new people.
Hey athletes, have you ever wondered what it would be like to play 5 years at a Division I major hockey program, to be captain, to win 2 NCAA Division I championships in 3 years, and in the year you don't win in between there, you lose 1-0 in the final, to be on your way to the PWHL, to have won a gold medal at the under-18 World Championships with Canada, to be second team All-American, to be NCAA top female collegiate player finalist. Jenn Gardiner knows all about those things. Jenn, welcome to Prep Camp Diaries.
Yes, thank you for having me on, Nate. It's an honor to be here and to share my experiences and how Prep Camp has built me into the player that I am, and how it's something that I've attended every summer and been through a lot of adversity along the way, of course, and had a lot of experiences, but I'm excited to share them here today.
Right on. Thanks. It's so fun. I've watched you grow up through all of these stages, and there's a common thread here. Right now you have only 6 Canadians, at Ohio State. 3 of them have been to prep camp: Jenna Buglioni, Jordan Baxter, and yourself. All of you have played for Mark Taylor. Gee, let's give Tails a little shout out here. What's he doing there, and what's it been like growing up in that environment before you headed off to Ohio State that's been an impactful part of your journey?
Yeah, I mean, Mark Taylor, obviously a longtime prep camp member and somebody who really shaped my entire future as a high school athlete. I owed everything to him, committing to college and finding Ohio State, and all of my development and my first accomplishment of making U18 Team Canada. That was all credited to Mark, and for the work that he put in, and how much he helped each of his athletes. So yeah, I'm really thankful to have had someone like Mark as part of my high school experience and my coach, because I wouldn't be anywhere without him. And yeah, awesome just getting to come back to prep camp each year and getting to skate with him, just like we used to in high school. So yeah, love Mark and couldn't say enough great things about him.
Well, that's awesome. You know, it started at the Comets, right? And then you moved with Mark to Delta. So this journey goes back to the early days of all of that as well. But I always noticed, right, even when you were in high school, you were a special kid, but you had a mature relationship with Mark, and you guys respected him, but also there was something about a real positive relationship. You guys could joke around as well, and yeah, I just admired kind of observing that from afar. How has that influenced you as an athlete and now captain of a program?
Yeah, I think Mark definitely challenged a lot of us in many ways to not only just become better hockey players, but be better people. And he shaped me into a really great leader. And just starting in the Comets family, he really helped our team with a lot of successes, but more importantly, showed us the meaning of family and culture within a team. And yeah, always had a great relationship with Mark, and he's been somebody that I can count on still to this day. And yeah, he got to witness me play a college game in person this past season for the very first time. And same with his co-coach Vaughn from our Comets team. So yeah, it was really, really exciting to get them out to a game and to finally, yeah, be back in the same rink with them. So a very special relationship with Mark, and he's definitely somebody I hold very close to my heart and will always be thankful for him.
That's amazing. I mean, you guys have a great atmosphere there, but to have, I think they were on tour with their team, right? And they worked that in where they could come in and see you all play.
Oh, Mark was, yeah.
Yeah. What was that like to have him in the stands as captain in a big game, but also to know that, you know, just that human side that people want to know, are athletes thinking about those kind of things? What did that mean to have him in the crowd?
It was special to have Mark there, and he brought the whole Delta team as well. So to that game, we were at the University of St. Thomas playing in that one, and then Vaughn and his wife actually flew out to Ohio a couple months later, so that's when they saw us. But it was special just to have Mark there after so long, and I know he follows every single game and every season, and he's always messaging me about successes. But just to finally have him in the stands, it was really an honor. Yeah. And I knew he was proud. So yeah, it made me really happy and grateful.
Yeah. You know, you said something that is a great cliche for a reason, not just be better players, but be better people. Can you think about a time in high school where maybe you were challenged a bit as a teenage girl to actually need to level up and up your game and your maturity a little bit? Like, can you think of how you grew through that time?
Yeah, I think there's nothing too specific that I can remember off the top of my head, but my first year when we were in grade 10 on the Comets, we had a really great season. We were going undefeated and had all these successes, and then we finally lost our first game in Prince George near the end of the year. And I think a lot of people started turning on each other and a lot of negativity within that experience. So after that, I remember Mark speaking to all of us and just saying, it's not the end of the world, it's one loss. And I think that as young athletes, you're very competitive and you want that perfect record. But at the end of the day, it was better for our team and it helped us to win a provincial championship and create a better future and more well-rounded people, I think.
You know what I love is you're going back to this moment in grade 10, and I, having had a chance to have a pro career, I have moments in grade 10 that were pivotal to me too. So people sometimes, I think young athletes think that once you get to another level, for you, NCAA Division I national championships, that the past kind of gets left behind. But here we are celebrating your success in another recent championship and a pending draft into the PWHL, and you're thinking back to that loss in Prince George in grade 10. What do you make of that observation?
Yeah, I think I'm just a very passionate hockey player, so something like that will stick with me forever. And just with our team being so close that year and under the mentorship of Mark, that was my first season under him. So I think I had a lot to learn playing kind of from that minor hockey association the year before and jumping up to the major midget level. So that year specifically just stuck out to me. And that moment I will just remember. Yeah,
right on. So you're just off a championship. You've got the pending PWHL draft coming up. I'm selfishly hoping that prep camp longtime coach Mike Summer, who's now coaching in New York, grabs you. But can you tell the young athletes what it's like now in this transition period? You got to play your 5th year at Ohio State because of COVID. But now, like, what's next for you, and actually just how does it work? What do you know about what's coming down the pipeline here?
Yeah, I honestly don't know a lot. There's a lot of uncertainty. It's kind of I feel like I've always had a plan, and I know where I'm going to be living within the next couple months. You commit to college, you plan for a year that you're going to go there, but right now there's just a lot of uncertainty, and all I do know is that the draft is coming up in just over a month here, and after that I will hopefully find a new city to call home. There's obviously 6 cities right now. So it's Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Boston, New York, and Minneapolis. So one of those cities will be called home. And I don't really prefer where to go. I think any city could be a great fit. There's a lot of great people. But yeah, I'm just really excited. And it is really exciting just to have a professional league and know that there's stepping stone to continue training for my dreams of playing in the Olympics one day. And I think it's just cool to get to play in a professional league in North America in front of our home fans in Canada and tons of great just people along the way. And it's huge for women's hockey to have this.
I gathered my 10-year-old son, my 9-year-old daughter, and my wife around the TV on January 1st for Mike Summers' first game coaching New York and playing against his sister-in-law Blair Turnbull in Toronto, and looking at well, the last 10 years for you and Mike, you're on different trajectories but similar paths, and there was a few tears of joy shed there. Like, what does it mean to you to be at the ground floor of this incredible league? There's a good chance you're playing in this league a year from now.
Yeah, I mean, as female hockey players growing up, it's your dream to play in the NHL. You think that that's practical and you don't want to be just like the boys, but obviously when it comes down to it, it's not realistic. So I think to have our own league and to have all these little girls who are going to be growing up and coming through camps like prep camp, just to see the league in play and get to watch their favorite players and see their female icons on TV and all over social media and maybe go visit a game in person. It's just unbelievable and inspiring even for me who's going to be playing in the league soon. It's just inspiring, quite honestly. And to see my friends now in the league and just talk to them about how professional it is and how great of an experience it is to get to continue their hockey career. It's awesome. And again, as female players, we're used to having a day job on the side and maybe playing hockey as a different side gig. So just to have our full-time job be a professional hockey player is really special, and it's a huge movement in the world.
And you, God, so many times I've said, Jen, are you coming back to prep camp? And you'll text back, best week of the year, Nate. Of course I'll be there. And I'll write back to you, Jen, you win national championships almost out of habit here now.
Yeah.
And it's just such an honor to see that, whether you know, I know part of you means it, but the accomplishments that you've had are just incredible. But what is it about just coming back to something that is familiar? And whether it's prep camp for you or it's another camp or a hometown for somebody else, what is it about kind of being grounded in something that's familiar that might help you with all this uncertainty that you've got coming ahead of you?
Yeah, I mean, I think family has just been a huge thing for me throughout the past probably 10 years now, starting from my Comet family, moving to my Ohio family, and my prep camp family has always been something I've been leaning back on. So I think that it's funny because the group of us from prep camp who've always been together, we don't necessarily talk to each other or text frequently throughout the year, but when we come to prep camp in July, it's like we never missed a beat and we're just the best of friends. So I think that prep camp seriously is a family, and it's people that I've met from all over British Columbia and I mean North America for that matter. And it's just incredible to know that I have that friend group, and to goes to show how much fun I have every year, because everybody asks me what my plans are in July and I'm like, well, this week is booked off. I will be in Port Alberni and don't talk to me because I have plans. So yeah, there's no other week that I'd rather, or no other place I'd rather spend that week. So
I love that. And watching you all together, you're at camp, I just assume you're connected all the time. And I love hearing that you're actually not, and that it doesn't matter. We worked really hard over the last year on declaring our camp core values. Like, what are our non-negotiables? What must happen at camp while we're busy getting kids on the ice and training? What else has to happen that's really important to us? And it took hours and hours and hours and hours of wordsmithing and deliberating. And one of those core values is connected and healthy communities. I mean, we've got goalie camp, we have referee camp, we have our female week, we've got the boys, we've got so many different things going on. And here you are talking about family and how it grounds you. It's one of your multiple families. So my question to you is, now that I share that with you, that's actually one of our 4 priorities, that actually happens. What does that mean to you?
I mean, I can see it on a daily basis at camp. I think that, like I said, family is really just a huge pillar of prep camp. And there's a lot of moving parts when you're in Port Alberni. There's people going from on ice to off ice, to putting their gear on, to being upstairs or on the track or going to the meal room or the dorms or whatever it may be. But I think that in passing, you're always saying hi to people, and everybody's got their prep camp merch on. It's like a week of just bringing hockey players together to have fun and not worry about anything else other than friendships and hockey. And as a young athlete, like, what more could you want than that, right? Like, you know you're going to make a ton of friends, you're going to make memories, you get to spend half the day in the rink and half out in the beating sun, and it's so much fun. And I seriously would recommend it to any young female hockey player growing up, because I don't think that there's any better experience.
Thanks for that, Jen. Thanks for that. We did want to talk about life as an NCAA athlete as well. You're coming out of your 5 years because of COVID. In the 5th year, you actually got to work on your master's. So congratulations on almost being done your master's.
Yeah, thank you.
We mentioned in our pre-interview the portal too, and I don't know much about it. And here we are, you've got some more prep camp alumni and players of mark coming into Ohio State to fill the big void that you're going to leave. Just talk to the families and athletes that are listening about, maybe let's start out what goes into choosing a college, if you can even remember. God, that was so long ago. And then talk about how this whole portal thing is playing into it. So choosing a college, what do you remember?
Well, first of all, I was supposed to play at the University of Western Ontario in U Sport. So that was where my first original college decision was made. And then right before my senior year of grade 12, I was recruited to play at Ohio State. And so I always thought I wanted a smaller school. So, of course, I found myself at the biggest school in the United States. And it's it's special because obviously moving to a place that you don't know anyone, you don't know where where it is or anything about the city. It's scary, but there's something about Ohio that's always felt like home to me. And I'm happy to get to share that with my other BC sisters that have come out to Ohio and more that are going to be coming in this year. But in terms of the transfer portal, I think it's an excellent tool just because I think a lot of girls, when they commit to schools early, maybe don't know exactly what they're looking for or what the best fit will be. And so when they go through that experience at their college and they're looking for a change after a year or a couple of years, they're able to make it and they're not locked into one certain institution. So I think the transfer portal can be a useful tool in terms of that and to find a better fit for you, whatever that might look like.
And so let's go back. When you made that first decision to go to Western, to Coach Kelly Payton, prep camp coach, right?
Yes, that is why I committed there.
Yeah, we love Kelly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We love you, Kelly. And
yeah, I still talk to Kelly a lot. So yeah, we're still in touch for sure. And yeah, we're pretty good friends. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Speak to that. Speak to managing relationships, because I'm sure she was super disappointed when you changed your mind. So, but you.
Well, I gotta blame it a little bit on her. She took another job from Western, right. So that was kind of the whole reason. Yeah, but that goes to show that I really put my trust in her, and I built that relationship at prep camp, and I was super pumped to get to play for Kelly.
Well, that's another great point. So people have plans and plans change. So you were, you'd committed to go play for Kelly at a school, and then life happens and she moved somewhere else. So what's the message there for athletes who think they have everything lined up and everything organized years in advance? What's your message to them?
Yeah. I think it's a lot of just trust the process and everything happens for a reason. I think there are moments of uncertainty like I'm going through right now. You don't know exactly where you're going to be or what tomorrow looks like, but at the same time, you can fall back on the sport of hockey and the relationships and friendships that you have, and with those people, you're going to find a fit and you're going to find a home. So yeah.
Now, was that probably around grade 10 that you had committed originally?
Yeah, grade 10, yeah.
And then it was grade 12 that Ohio came up.
Yeah, right before grade 12, summer.
I always think it's insane that those decisions are being made in grade 10. What?
Yeah.
I mean, you so much in your high school life hasn't even happened yet, and you're committing to this thing years away. If you could have it any way, if you got to decide when a kid got recruited, when they could commit, what grade would it be in?
I think just grade 11. I think that actually might be what the rule is right now. I think anything younger than grade 10 is just too young, because sometimes you're a little kid and you go tour, you see something that's all big and shiny and it looks great from a little 14-year-old's perspective, but that might not necessarily be exactly what you want when you're 18 and entering as a freshman. So I think that later is not always a bad thing. I mean, earlier isn't bad, just as long as you know what you want. And if you have your schooling, obviously you need to figure out academics and big school, small school, all that little stuff that plays into your decision. But I think making a decision later is not necessarily a bad thing, just because you'll be probably more educated on what would be a good fit for you.
Yeah, grade 9, grade 10, those decisions were coming in. Yes, I think it has changed as well. And by the way, listeners, I am not an expert on this stuff. We're just exploring. So everything I say in this podcast could be wrong. However, what you just said, making big school, small school decisions, big shiny stadiums before you ever even taken grade 11 math. That's crazy. Yeah. So
let me tell you, I was not sold on a big shiny decision. I think everybody in the NCAA knows we have one of the smallest and not nicest rinks, to say the least, but we do love playing there, and it just goes to show that we have phenomenal people and culture, and it's not about the facility, it's not about the rink or anything to do with that. It's just about who you have and what opportunities lie in front of you.
I love that. It's not about the rink. Right? Yeah. Schools are competing against each other for facilities, but when you're a teenager, it's about humans.
Exactly.
It's always about humans. Teenager, adult, it always comes down to the humans, right? You could be really unhappy in a beautiful house.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so the portal, so you see it as an opportunity that you don't know exactly what you're getting into, and maybe a year or two has gone by, and it's maybe a family decision has to be made that somewhere else is new. For the listener, the portal is kind of new, where athletes can basically put their name back in the ring to say, I'm willing to go somewhere else. Is that how you would describe it?
Yeah, that sums it up.
And if I may, so as a captain, you're not in between is the wrong word, but you're that conduit between coaching staff and players. You have high expectations of players. Coaches have high expectations. How, maybe not even in your situation specifically, but in theory, how can it negatively impact? Like, let's say we're trying to have high expectations of athletes on the team, and if we push too hard, they just put their name in the portal. Is that a thing, or is that an assumption I'm making?
Yeah, no, I think it's actually we've had quite a few transfers come through our program into it, and I think honestly I have nothing but great things to say. Just
You've
because
got athletes coming to you. You're the
Yes.
national champion.
Yeah.
National champion schools have lots to gain.
Yeah.
Great athletes come your way, and you've had a good experience.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And like we've had tons of transfers come in, and I think that they just bring so much value, and there's so much pride in being a Buckeye. So as soon as people want to be part of that, it's like, we want you on board. If you want to be part of what we have here and you're going to add to our culture, I think it's absolutely a great thing. And when you get transfers, like, for example, this past year we had Kayla Barnes, who's a 2-time Olympian, Hannah Vilka world champion. So
wow.
You get transfers like that. It's pretty easy to manage them, and they speak for themselves, and they were the greatest people and greatest addition. So when you have transfers come in with these resumes, all they do is add to the program, and I've learned a lot from all of them. So yeah, it's phenomenal. It's created a lot of new friendships for me.
I can see that, and I'm sure it led to your incredible success. Geez, those are massive additions to the roster. So, families who feel they've been promised something, I'm going to go to such and such a school, and I'm going to work my way up through the lineup, also now need to realize it's kind of like pro, where yeah, but we also might get 3 Olympians come in your junior year as well, and that's going to impact somebody else's spot in the lineup. So I guess that's just a current reality that families need to be ready for, and it's a bigger picture thing. Like, the whole package, school has to fit, there has to be more to life than hockey. Yeah. Because when those Olympians come to you, somebody else might be pushed down the lineup. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it just goes to show, I mean, we call it tryouts here every Monday. Every Monday at practice, it's a clean slate. And if you work your hardest and you earn a spot, then you're going to be playing and you're going to get what is given to you and what you earn. So I think that that's how it should work. And no matter what your resume is, it just matters how hard you work and what you bring to the table at OSU, specifically speaking for our school. So yeah, very clean slate and fair opportunity is given to anyone, but obviously it is the next level. And in the NCAA, winning and success is very important, and our end goal is winning a national championship. So whatever it takes to get there, that's what we're going to do.
Yep, fair enough. Fair enough. Good perspective, Jen. Now, we want to make sure on Prep Camp Diaries that we are looking deep into people's lives here and also exploring non-hockey stuff, because this game will end for all of us one day, whether it's an injury in your freshman year or an Olympian comes and pushes you out of the lineup permanently. Tell us about the opportunity that you've had in our last couple of minutes here to work on your master's. What are you studying, and what might you do with it one day?
Yeah, so I did my undergrad in sports management, and now I'm doing my master's in sports management. So with COVID, my 5th year, I got the opportunity to do my master's program, which is exciting because there's obviously a lot more doors that can open with that. And hockey's been my whole life, so I plan to stick around sports and hockey for as long as I can is my plan. And so just whether that be coaching or more on the management side of things, we'll see where that takes me. But as of right now, my future career goal is to be a professional women's ice hockey player, which 5 years ago, I don't think I could have said that. I think it's exciting. And every year things are growing and evolving for female athletes. And yeah, I couldn't be more excited for the future. And for all the Prep Camp listeners to this podcast, who knows what the league's going to look like by the time you guys enter it. It's going to be bigger and better, and it's only going to continue growing.
Yeah, the crowds just God, I love the model that they've put in place.
Yeah.
Congrats on finishing your master's, Jen. I'm just going to say it to the listeners now. Master's in sports management. I'm just going to envision one day you're running prep camp. How does that sound?
I mean, I think that'd be a dream come true. I think we both know we're headed there. So
well, I can't do it forever. All right. So here you go. It's on the table.
Yeah.
Jen, I'm so glad that you were the guest. There's no other perfect guest for episode 1 of Prep Camp Diaries. Listeners, you can find this on Spotify and soon to be Apple Podcasts and Google and all of the places. You can leave a voice message for Jen on Spotify. We are going to be canvassing. We have some feature episodes coming out. Actually, Morgan Jackson later will be recorded later today. Our up and coming star, and Vanessa Schaefer, Team Switzerland, will be on. If you have questions for them, listeners, please write in. We'll be sending some emails to our following social media channels. We want these conversations to be about what athletes want to know. No better guest to kick us off than Jenn Gardiner. So proud of you. I hope you're proud of your accomplishments, and good luck, Jen.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on, and Prep Camp listeners, I hope you attend because it's the best camp ever, and you will regret it if you don't. So
you will regret it if you don't. Right on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Nate.